inshallah. Okay, all schools except Hanabila say that it is wajib to cover the awrah even if he has to borrow the clothes. If there is a possibility of borrowing clothes or wear silk, his salah is invalid without it. This is everyone except Hanabila. We explained their madhab, but the other madhab said if there is a possibility of you borrowing clothes or wearing silk, then you can't pray without them, you have to pray in them. This is obviously in our time, the life we live, Allah has granted us the bounties we have. It seems like an impossible scenarios for us. But for someone who is studying, it is not just knowing this mas'ala, it's the process of thinking is very important, how we get to it. And then you can inshallah later apply it. The way to think is what you need to learn rather than remember the mas'ala itself. Okay? That's why if you don't have clothing, alright, and someone says to you, brother, wait, I'm gonna bring you my qameez, then it is not valid for you to pray without clothes until you wait for the qameez all the way to near the end of the salah time. For example, after Isha, someone said, you don't have clothes, don't worry, I'll bring you qameez, I'll bring you some clothing. Now that you are waiting for the clothing, just before the Fajr, you'll keep waiting because you can pray Isha up to there. You won't miss the Salah time, but you will have to wait for it. Or if you have an opportunity to buy clothing, you don't have none, but you can buy, as long as they're not selling, same ruling as water, it's not selling for a price which is unreasonable. You will have to buy them and you can afford them. You will have to buy, you can't pray without them. Okay? It'll become wajib for you, like a tayammum. You wait for the water and you purchase the water. So here the clothing have the same ruling if you followed those classes back then. Done? We done with that. Any questions? Anyone remembers anything? Okay, just a small section. This is if you have nothing to cover your body, okay? Just that's a repetition almost, because I've already mentioned it. So I'll just say the madhahib. If you have nothing to cover your body, the Ahnaf and Shafi'i, they said cover using mud or muddy water. Pray in that. Maliki and Ahnaf both said to pray in dark. If you have no other option, praying in dark is your next option. Then Shafi'i plus Hanabila, they said if you have no other option, you just cover yourself with your hand. You have to pray still, akhi. There is no running away from praying.
Sheikh, you mentioned that the Ahnaf have the opinion that you should sit if you pray with no clothes on. Do all the other four madhab have the same opinion?
For what?
For sitting when you have no clothes to your...
We covered that last time.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you were not here last time. Wow, we are being punished for you being absent. Malikis, they said, you will pray standing only and you do motion from head for ruku and sajda. And Shafi said you'll pray a normal salah, and the other two they said you will sit down and pray. Okay? Make notes, akhi, if you want to remember. There is no way a human remembers. No, in our time. Okay, so Malikis they say pray standing. Shafi said you will do full ruku and sujood like you would normally. And Ahnaf and Hanbalis they said you will sit and you'll motion with your head. And I told you how to sit. You sit down with your knees in front of you and you will motion from ruku and sajda. And it is preferred that the motion for sajda is more than the motion of the ruku. Okay? Good. Next section.
So, can you repeat the last one? Sorry. Was it like the water? Or Hanafi and...
Hanafi and Shafi'i. They say if you have no other way to cover yourself, you get into a muddy water, that's an option, then you do that. Yeah.
And pray in the water.
Sit in the water like this, and then do your yeah. Basically, you go as far as you can. Alhamdulillah, we live in. If you look at some people in the world, their life, we living in Jannah. Allah, may Allah just pardon us. If you have to give hisab of our life, we just ask Allah to pardon us. Our life is almost unimaginable that someone would come across this situation. So much Allah has granted us. Yet we don't find people who pray regularly sometimes. In this bounties, head to toe, we drowned in bounties.